Welcome to Community Podcast, where we discuss everything and anything related to design, art, and visual communication. It's me, Akash, and today with me is the most awesome Procreate artist, one art at a time, aka Sourav Kumar in the house. What's up, Sourav?
Hello, hello.
How's it going?
Going good. How about you?
All good, all good. Where are you from currently?
Currently based in Bangalore. Everything is here only.
Tell us a little bit about your background, how you
Background, as in, what would you like to know?
like how you came into being artistic and where are your roots from?
I think being artistic, uh, that's a tough question. I believe everyone's an artist in their own way. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm an engineer, mechanical engineer turned artist, by the way.
Okay.
So just like in every Indian house, the standard basic part of becoming an engineer or something happened here as well. There
Okay.
was no proper guidance as such
Mm-hmm.
to about. I didn't know a lot about design schools or anything back then, and so eventually got on with engineering. Once that was done, I was working in a firm as well, but it didn't feel right. Prior to this, always design or photography, anything which had a creative side to it had
Mm-hmm.
always interested me. So I was lot into pencil sketches way before,
Acha.
and that was always a side hobby, always kept going on. And eventually, while I was working, one day I randomly bumped into a Instagram profile of Galshir.
I'll share, of course.
Yes, one of my major icons I look at, I guess. And it kind of looked very satisfying because basically almost everyone knows about Photoshop, Illustrator, and every other thing for digital art. But
Mm-hmm.
that kind of feels a lot more technical. This feels very satisfying to watch, and basically for a person who really wants to get into digital art and stuff, I would prefer Procreate over that. And even I didn't have a clear idea as to if this is what I wanted to do. With that, I got on. I thought, okay, might as well experiment because I always loved sketching from start. So, got an iPad, got started. COVID hit, and eventually one thing led on to another, and finally doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. When did you started? Like before COVID?
The first lockdown, I think December 2020, I started, or 2019. I'm confused. 2 years it's been, yeah.
That's cool. That's a very awesome inspiration from the Garcia.
Yes, there are many artists, and as you get on with it, you start figuring out things, and then you kind of realize that yeah, this is what you want to do. Because initially there might be a lot of things, and you might be clueless.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you'll see each and everything, and there will be a little bit of everything you would want to do,
Yes.
and but eventually you realize, okay, fine, maybe not that, and I'm more of a digital artist. I'm more into illustrations and such kind of niche. Yeah.
When you bought your first iPad, what was the first thing you made?
First thing
Yeah.
what I made, I actually traced over my picture and I
Mm-hmm.
made a very simple caricature. And that's the logo of the page which I still use. That's like become like an identity for now. I don't know if I'm gonna change it in the future. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, that was one of the first things I ever made. And I was not very good at making mouth and this that. But then that picture, I use only half of it, like half of my face till the nose. Felt fine, and it still is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you consider like even with the tracing,
Yeah.
do you consider like tracing is bad, which is the like most popular questions among the community?
I'd say it's not bad. Initially, if
Mm-hmm.
you're starting out and when you're just trying to learn the platform,
Mm-hmm.
sketching in itself can be a deeper thing to dive in. So, for starters, you can trace over it. In case you have traced over it, it's okay to let it out or to tell people that it has been traced. Sometimes, when there are a lot of, imagine we are doing commissions and you have like four to be done
Mm-hmm.
within like 2 days. At that time, it's practical to trace over an image so that the workflow is faster. But when you have the time and as much as possible, I think it's always best to try to recreate the entire thing from scratch, because
Mm.
that adds on another total another perspective to it, and it gives you better results.
Uh,
In my in my opinion, I feel it's okay to trace, but not entirely. Like, you
mhm.
should have something to add on to it and to make it even better.
Yeah.
Still prefer, like, if you have the time, and very good exercise to, like, for your hand and eye to, like, sketch something while looking
Mm.
at it.
Mm.
It eventually definitely adds on to you.
Yes.
So I feel there are like hundreds of mixed reviews about it. Imagine you're sketching a bird,
Uh,
and you you can probably just have the base figure of the bird traced over it, and then probably you can make it into entirely something else. Like, you can
mhm.
exaggerate the figures. Whatever bird you've drawn probably has wings smaller. You can probably make it bigger.
Uh,
Basically, that part again, you're putting in a little effort of your own. You're trying to make changes, but
to,
that again is not exactly advice. But this is all part of it.
uh,
Initially, tracing, well and good. I don't mind. I think it's fine, but eventually, as you grow on, I feel it's better to, like,
like move
do it
on and
from
start
scratch.
building your
Yeah,
own.
yeah. Because probably there will be things for which you won't have anything to trace from,
Acha.
and those are the
Mhm.
places where you will have to make everything from scratch. And
Uh,
if at all you're too used to tracing over things, at that specific point you are going to be blank, and
uh,
you'll be like, you'll spend more, at least, like, what, more than half your time trying to find relevant elements or objects, put it together, and then trace over it. So a lot more time goes into that. So might as well keep investing a little bit of time every now and then while you start a new piece, so that it eventually adds on to you. And then when you go further, it's not a big of a deal if you don't
mhm.
have a reference. You are still there to draw it from scratch.
So this also helps like when you have an artistic block.
Definitely, it does.
Did you had like any
I keep
commissions?
having every
Uh,
now and then. Like,
uh,
it's difficult to always come out with something new.
mhm.
And basically, every artwork kinda is a recreation of something or the other which is already there.
Mhm.
And at those specific times when there is an art block, there are, like, multiple things to do. But at those times, what I feel like doing is just letting everything be and not
Uh,
get way too stressed about it. Like, okay, what am I gonna do? Because that's the thing, when it starts hitting you, like, you're like, okay, I have a social media, I have to keep it active. That's one thing in the back of your head.
yes.
But it'll
Uh-huh.
eventually catch on, and the main part is you have to give space to your own head to breathe. And once you're there, it's fine. And like, there are just random scribbling on a screen or paper also will help you. Like, you just have to clear out your mind, is what I feel, during art blocks or whatever.
That's a good tip. So when did you actually notice like did you had any like artistic education in your school? What things you studied on your own that helped
So
you?
basically, almost
Yes.
everything is self-taught. And then once I started realizing this is what I wanted to do, that's
Mm.
when I started taking up another few courses, and then I started getting more knowledge about it. But then every person has this art class in school. That used to be way too interesting. And other than that, so that we used to have biology in our 600, or like till our 10th standard, right? And we used to even have labs and everything else. The education part was not so good in my head, but there used to be things like, imagine we used to have, like, draw a heart and explain about it. Imagine, so I would spend most of my time
Mhm.
drawing out that heart and writing a very little explanation about the same. I
Acha.
used to put more time in that. Like, back then, we used to only use pencils, but then even that pencil sketch used to come out so well that I used to get appreciated for the sketch by the teacher, even though I failed the subject.
Acha.
So yeah, so all that kind of did motivate me to get on, one way or other. And then I started doing portraits.
Okay.
Portraits was one way, and but eventually, again, right, initially when you are very clueless, you want to try out everything. So pencil sketches, then you do painting, then you
Yes.
try something else,
Mhm.
and then something else only happened in life. After that, finally got on with it. Drawing digitally, it kind of interested me from within, and I was like, okay, maybe I want to do this.
Hmm.
This also was like a trial phase. When I got my iPad, I was fixed in my head that I'm gonna give it some time, a
Hmm.
few months.
Hmm.
If it brings out something, well and good. Otherwise, I'm gonna just sell the iPad because it's gonna be of no use to me.
Uh, so you pretty much know about all the process, all the techniques on rendering from the pencil. Now you
Yes, yes.
came to digital and applied what you have learned over in the traditional media.
Yeah,
So means currently you have picked a niche, or you are in the process of selecting a niche on your Procreate videos.
there is no specific niche again. Like
Uh,
I basically like to draw whatever I see, and I continue doing that. Also, here comes the part wherein there are many people who are always confused that you have to find a style, you have to find a
mm-hmm.
style. I think even I was running behind that specific thing. Like I need to know what's my style, but eventually it catches on. I don't know that. Me personally, I don't believe that. Okay, there's a lot of you need to have a style kind of thing. It's okay to draw whatever you feel like or see, and finally, even like in the end, you'll only start doing one kind of like specific kind of designs or stuff, and that's when you realize that's your niche or whatever.
So initially you had like portraiture, and now you draw
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, exactly.
Which
Everything, yeah, but still, I still stay away from portraits because they are very time consuming.
yeah.
And yeah, portraits, I still prefer making them by pencil than creating them digitally. If at all it is being created digitally, I like to add a lot of pop art stuff to it because that looks something better, I feel. Because realistic portraits will eventually just become photographs, in my opinion. Many
So
people might be
mhm.
offended with this, but it's okay. There are some pretty good artists wherein it's very difficult to even differentiate between a picture and what they actually draw.
Yeah,
But
there
that
is pretty.
requires a lot of patience and training. I think I'm past that and I won't be able to get on that.
Uh, but you had good foundations for it that what
Yeah,
went to this digital field,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's a good foundation. Okay, so coming into the mental health of the artist, what struggles do every artist have their own mental struggles and the things they go through? What things that you have experienced in your artistic field?
Basically, the thing to always create something out of the box is always there in every artist's head, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel everyone should eventually come to a conclusion that whatever they are doing is something out of the box. And as you keep making things, it gets better.
Yeah.
And from an artist perspective, if I make something and I keep looking at it every now and then, I'm gonna keep finding faults in it. But
Oh.
then,
Mhm.
from the perspective of others who are just looking at it for the first time, they find it amazing. Like they'll be like, "Wow, this is so good." But then
Mhm.
you yourself know, you're like, "Okay, it's not nice," and that keeps impacting your mental health for some reason. You're like, "No, how?" And you're always in that confused mind. I think we should avoid doing that.
Uh, do you
You,
think that also improves the art also? That
it definitely does, but
like other people can see it's a flawless piece, but you
yeah,
see as a there is some flaw, right?
yes.
So, so do you think that also improves the art over the process?
It does, but if that's the case, there might be a thing wherein we won't even be finishing our work on time. And suppose you're creating something
Mm-hmm.
and you put like 3 hours in it. That 3 hours are what you've completely given to the artwork, and you're just looking at it from every angle possible. And we're just like, okay, probably this, probably that. This doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right. So those are the things which are in your head, and they continue to be there no matter what.
I see.
So I don't think we should strain ourselves so much. Every time I feel it is very difficult to come out with something that's totally out of the box. And for you to create something that's something like way beyond or amazing, you need time. And currently, the way how like with all the social media and everything, there's
Mm-hmm.
a thing wherein people are too quick to judge, and Not everyone out there online are nice. And currently, with all the social media and everything, I think that adds on to another pressure to an artist's health, mental
Mm-hmm.
health, because he or she is creating something amazing. It is nice. The quality of work is also very nice. But then what happens? The person is not getting the specific reach or the recognition what he should be getting. He or she will probably look at some profiles that are just creating very random things which are probably not that great as well. But uh, you never know how the algorithm functions or what happens, and it clicks and they go viral for no reason, and the follow count increases and everything else increases. So the person making stuff out there will be like, is my work not good enough? And then the
Yeah.
self doubt kicks in,
Uh-huh.
I guess. So those things are something I think should be avoided, wherein it shouldn't let those things affect you. And because if you're creating something, I feel it's way better to think that you've created it for yourself and you don't have a place to keep it, so you're just putting it up on Instagram or wherever you wanna on the social platforms.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
I personally believe there comes a time wherein it definitely does click, and when that happens, it all feels worth it.
So you to sum it up, any new creator should not keep focus on like making it go viral, and
No, yeah.
so he should keep creating and putting stuff
Just
online.
keep creating is what I believe.
So we talked about the mental health. Now coming back to like growing your social media and the different collaborations. So how does the collaboration with other artists work?
Firstly, I feel this is totally with reference to all social media and things like that. Namely, how does one survive or anything? It's basically all because of the community, right? So, in that sense, firstly, making your own community is way too important. People out there are just thinking, okay, I have 100 followers and that specific person has 100K. But then, and they'll be very hesitant to even talk to that person, but then even that same 100K guy was at 100 at one point in life. So probably he understands.
Mhm.
They are agreed that they'll be getting a lot of messages and things, and they might not reply on time, but then they do reply. I've faced this, and you just talk to them, and they give you even better insights than what probably I can give as well. Like, but you get to know a lot, and then you have a connection there, and then comes the collaboration, wherein first you build your thing, rapport with them, and then it gets on, and then if agree if your work is nice and even if they are okay with it, then you collaborate further, and it definitely adds on to one artist's artwork or to their value if at all he or she is being collaborated with another fellow creator artist or whatever.
Okay, so don't hesitate. Just give out a message to whoever you like,
Yeah,
and they will
you like
reply.
something,
Huh.
appreciate. You want help, you ask for it. Like, I feel people are not way too open. Like, that self-doubt part, right, it always stays, and they'll be like, okay, maybe not.
Yeah, just ask for help.
Yeah, because
So,
there
mhm.
will be two or three people who criticize, but I feel there will be more than 100 who will be ready to reach out and help as well.
For any budding artist, what should he know about starting his own channel? What stuff should he focus on other than just creating an art?
Creating art, so yeah, creating art alone wouldn't help social media wise.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take only basically there is nothing much to know, but there is also so much to know. For starting out, I feel it is just better to just post stuff, know a little bit of content writing or putting up captions and whatever write-up part that goes into it, and the hashtags and all that research what people do. Initially, it is kind of difficult to figure it out, but again, as I told you, starting initially, you will just do things which you don't know. So basically, captions. You'll go to Google, you'll search something, you'll mix and match something, and then you write. Then you go figure out hashtags, then you random generators, or probably you will search for other artists and you'll just copy their stuff. And then that thing might not exactly work for you because it's working for them. For
Mm-hmm.
each audience size, the way hashtags work, I believe, are completely different. Because hashtags are nothing but they help you reach many other people. Abhi, now if you're directly targeting, if your content is only pretty new, directly for it rank on any hashtag is way too difficult. So initially you target smaller hashtags,
Okay.
or and initially, if at all, probably you're making good stuff and you're making things for any specific brand or any celebrity or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you can just tag them. They reshare your work. You get the reach you desire. But then I mainly feel people only are gonna connect with you when they know who you are. And if at all you're just a random person just putting up artwork, it
Mm-hmm.
might again not grow up. I feel this also happened with me because for a long time I hadn't even showed my face
Mm-hmm.
on my page. And then there comes a time when the people who are looking at your work also want to know you. If at all
Right.
they just want to look at random artworks, they can just Google stuff.
Right. Right.
So there comes a point wherein you make a bond with them, you communicate,
Mm.
they know, okay, there's a real person doing this, there's something going on with him. So basically, it's not only the connection through the artwork what they make, it's the person behind it also they make it with.
So you have recently shown your face, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Lately, I've been coming a lot. Like, I've
Re-
not come live, but I just keep coming on stories, at least waving one hi, hello, random random checks on people,
Mhm.
how they are. It basically creates an impact. Like, if it was the same for me from another creator, also it does. Imagine you're having a very messed up day
Uh,
and nobody out there is asking you how you feel. Okay.
mhm.
And randomly you see one post and they're like, how was your day? You just answer something and the person communicates back to you. You feel a little relief or some sort in your head when you're like, okay, fine. And you know, okay, fine. A reliable person. A connection is built.
So has it been like having a channel had always put pressure on the creator? Do
Yeah,
you
yeah, it
do you
definitely
feel
does.
like sometimes it when you don't post regularly or when you go out of schedule of posting, how do you cover up that?
That I still haven't actually been on schedule ever. I try to, but then there's always something or the other that keeps coming up. But then there have been multiple times wherein I have not posted for like a month or two. Back of your head, it's always there because everyone makes a big thing about the algorithm. You won't get the reach, what you get, this, that. And of course, you want good things happening for yourself, so you do require that good reach or whatnot. So back of that, you'll be thinking, okay, what do I make? What do I make? But there will be times I've posted two nice things.
Hmm.
Just for the sake of posting, people start posting random stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where it goes uh, bad. Like, I think Instagram functions on two things,
Hmm.
quality or quantity. And if at all you're putting quality work, I think even in a week, if you're putting one post, it does the job. And otherwise, just the quantity. People just continuously start putting like two reels a day or daily,
Hmm.
might be working out for them. Basically, it works out completely different for everyone because initially there was one reel of mine that went super viral, and that was the time I was like, whoa, and that's where my page grew. So I
Wha-
thought, okay, reels are my thing, and that's what is gonna help me grow. But it didn't. Like I was just continuously putting reels and reels. I wasn't getting it. You can just tell I got lucky with that one specific reel which went viral. And after that, now there's a time wherein I'll stop putting reels completely. Probably once in every a month or two times is what I'm looking at reels. But
Mhm.
so what might work for one person might not work out for you. You draw a dog, I draw a dog. But
Uh,
your dog goes and it gets like 2,000 likes and I get only like 20. And then I'm like, I also do the exact same thing. Why not me?
Popular
So
dog.
those are the things. Yeah,
Uh,
those are the things which continuously keep bothering people. Like why? And so there will be so many people teaching about the algorithm, but that is something I don't understand.
hmm.
So you just concentrate on making stuff which you think people might like it or you like to make. Again, like you make something what you like, you'll eventually find people of the same mindset, and they are the ones who are gonna be there. Follower numbers also don't matter, I guess. If at all you have 100 genuine people, it's better than having 10K
Hmm.
number of followers and things like that. Yeah.
What was the artwork that you made that went viral?
That specific artwork wasn't even that artwork I hadn't even put much effort in. It
Huh.
would have hardly taken me 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It was an art made with the emoji.
It's a.
Yeah, the expressions were changed and a little bit of the
Mhm.
eyebrow was animated. Like in, I would have least expected for that one to go viral. But yeah, like I told, it's not predictable. That went up to 55 million, and I was like, this is even possible here on such a platform.
Huh. So.
So that's all. Like, yeah, there have after that that gives you that boost, right? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
probably I should create something more now. This will
Huh.
do even better. I've spent 8 hours on one specific reel because that was a frame by frame animation, and that got only 15K. And I was like, I invested so much time in it, and so again, like I said, the when you least expect it, things happen.
So don't expect, just
Don't
make
expect,
stuff.
yeah, don't expect. Just do your thing, and it'll eventually work out.
So other than being an artistic, what other things you like to do?
Other than drawing, one thing I love doing is roaming. So, and I love riding.
You go to trips?
Yeah, trips, treks, rides. So it's like another getaway, basically. Art
Mm-hmm.
also kind of is a getaway, and that as well. So half the time, it's mainly road trips and bike rides.
Bike rides. You like bikes?
Bike rides. Yes, yes,
Does that help being like relieve stress?
yes, yes. You're just out there, and that's again one time wherein you're not just. It's like a getaway, right? And you don't sit and think, okay, probably I have to make this so that I can get so many views on my Instagram.
Uh,
So you just go clear your head, you feel at peace, and then you come back to the hustle grind, whatever you're up to in life, and then you get on with it.
do you believe in like a side hustle that
Definitely,
came
definitely.
into the highlight spot?
I definitely believe because every person has something or the other which they feel is important or like which they feel they couldn't pursue or do in life. Uh, me, my page you can consider as my side hustle.
Mm-hmm.
I give credit to my side hustle for getting me the job what I'm doing right now, and it adds on to you, right? Because there are
Mm-hmm.
times wherein your side hustle does do the living for you, like you make money, you get recognition or whatever. So it starts getting you the life you want also. Now, eventually, side hustle are something which you always dreamt that would come true, and side hustles are mainly the things which would get you the life you want, kind of stuff. Maybe that's in my head,
Mm-hmm.
and so you always work on it, no matter what. Worst to worst case, imagine you don't have any hustle like okay, drawing this, that, and all. You might have a vehicle, a bike, or a car kept in your garage. Your side hustle can be just bringing that thing back to life. So you work on it every half an hour or 1 hour, whatever you get throughout
Mm-hmm.
your day. Basically, you work on whatever makes you happy. That's your side hustle. It should be an escape space for you. It should give you peace. It should not cause another level of stress for you, your side hustle.
Yeah. So, at your current page, like having other than creating videos, do you create also tools for the other artists to use?
Yeah, I've recently started creating digital products
Hmm.
like the brushes which I use. Right now, they are only compatible with Procreate, but then they are soon gonna be compatible with Photoshop as well. And whatever brushes are gonna be coming further will be compatible with both Photoshop and Procreate. Right now, I very recently actually started coming up with digital projects. Soon I'm thinking maybe print and I don't know. Let's see how it goes. I'm also planning on taking workshops. So
Okay,
one thing
that's
at a
cool.
time. It'll eventually
Uh,
let's see how it pans out. Yeah.
so can you share your handle,
Yeah,
Instagram handle?
definitely. It is at the rate one art at a time. No space, and it's not at the rate. It's just ONEART at a time.
Cool.
Same thing is there on Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest.
So thanks for coming to the podcast, Saurav. Thanks for being.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
It's awesome talking to you, and we look forward to seeing more of your art. So thank you for
Yeah.
coming.
Thank you. Thank you.